my Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your work, career, and vocation read for July and August 2021. I'm your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle production since 1998, so I know of which I speak. Son of a Cancerian, mother of the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Oh, my hair is just poking me in the contact lens. Hi. Yeah, I showered, I facialed, I'm here. And I'm ready to rock and roll. We're doing a 12-card work, career, vocation spread, essentially your life purpose, broken down into 3 levels of power. There is a link in the description box from Carolyn Myss. These are her archetype cards, lecturing on the 3 levels of power, lenses that you can look at any area of your life, your relationships, your healing, very chakra-based as well. So you can check out that link because explaining it takes too long, and I'm trying to keep these readings a bit more time condensed, but without compromising truth and integrity, right? So let's get up in this gig. It's a general read, you know that, kind of over explaining the rules every single time. But as we do this, both feet on the floor if you can, focus on your breath if you will. All the decks that I use are always in the bottom of the description box. And of course, if you would like to go deeper into your work, career, vocation, I've been doing these readings for people for decades. I know, it's not all about twin flames and soulmates, right? People really want to find or get clarity on the life purpose that they already have that they may not be aware of, and this is a nice way to do it. So I'll whatever flies out of my mouth to explain 3 levels of power, I'm trusting the divine to do that through me. Otherwise, let's get up in this gig, shall we, my crab cakes? Please take a nice deep breath. Hopefully my intro's getting shorter and shorter. Yeah, find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, if you want to book a read with me, right? I gotta say that too. I'm actually doing my first house call this week. Haven't done one in years. Very excited to pack a tarot bag and go. Oh God, I've been not confined. I've been in hermit mode. So maybe this is me coming out of hermit mode. We shall see. But certainly I can do Zoom, Skype, Facebook video call, all that jazz as well. Enough. Breathe. This is a very nice light feeling to it. Let's see if the cards bear that out. My collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life purpose through work, career, and vocation, as well as the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. Please, what are the dominant 8th chakra archetypes for work, career, and vocation for the Cancerian collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. First, their work. What's going on in the 8th chakra, the archetypal dynamics in their work? Physical level of power, literal level of power, survival, intuition. What's going on in their career? Heart, third eye crown dynamic. Their passion, their hunger, their thirst, their what feeds their soul, their creative intuition, their psychological realm, their personal level of power. There's the 8th chakra dynamic there. And in their vocation, their spiritual calling, the star that guides them, that pulls them forward, alchemizing fate to destiny, right? Their mystical power. What's going on there in their calling, in their work, career, and vocation? Okay, let's see who you got now. You know what these are before I do, because they're in the title. Let's see how brave you are. The Gambler, the Destroyer, and the Trickster. Well. Certainly the Gambler here in your work. There is a risk at play here, but it's all about intuition. This is an action family archetype. The Destroyer is, I don't remember Myss specifically putting this in a particular archetypal family, but I'm going to say it's either, no, it's got to be wild card. Let's just call that wild card family. There are 9 families. The wild cards are the ones that really could be in all of them or not in any of them, right? the other 8 families, and certainly the Trickster, if you want to talk a wild card, the Trickster in your vocation. So this is interesting stuff here, because what happens in the 8th chakra, these are the soul powers you are developing as part of your life purpose. But where are you on the scale of lead to gold? Because 8th chakra kind of, well, it does. It drips down, if you want to look at it that way, and affects every other chakra underneath it. So let's talk about the gambler. The shadow is the stuff your needs to heal. The light is what you're shooting for. The shadow attribute, relying on luck rather than hard work. I mean, we may do that from time to time, but usually that's because there's nothing more we can do. Right? It's like, okay, I've done everything I can do. I just got to let the cake bake and cross my fingers, you know, say a prayer. But that would be more the light attribute. Willingness to follow intuition, even when others doubt you. Right? So you might be getting very, very clear 8th chakra stuff about your work, right? And we'll look at that when we get to the Trickster. I mean, the Trickster and the Gambler, they're both very much the god Hermes, I'm just going to say. Certainly a vibe there, if that means anything to you. But the energy that I'm getting off of this is like, yeah, you're getting very, very strong intuitive guidance, whether it's, you know, visionary intuition, creative intuition, or survival intuition, to move on or to take some kind of risk here. And others like, what are you, crazy? What are you, crazy? Or you're like, no, life is risk. Every morning you step out of bed, it's a risk. It's the Fool card. And isn't this, here, let me show you. Isn't this in a way just like the Fool card? See how the gambler has one foot up in the air and is blindfolded looking up. I mean, the Fool isn't usually blindfolded, but certainly that leap of faith indicated there. Now, don't be freaked by the destroyer. Destruction is the other half of creation, right? What would be the point of eating food if your stomach couldn't dissolve, right? The cell walls to extract the nutrients lower down the GI tract, right? Yes, it's the volcano here, and certainly the shadow attribute, intoxication with destructive power. Just looking to see, no, that was the student, the one I just did. It's close, different family though. Yeah, intoxication with destructive power. And I'll do this again because I already do it once a day. Right, you know, not so good. But destroying others' dreams or potentials, that's a nightmare. Now, maybe you've dealt with that in your career. Maybe you're doing that to yourself because, you know, a lot of us have to like pay the bill. Who doesn't have to pay the bills in some way, shape, or form? And so maybe there has been a vibe here, perhaps, of others really sort of destroying your potential here, or at least your dreams of what your career is. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're evil people. It's what I call the toxicity of the well-meaning. Remember, I was raised by a teacher and a lawyer. Yeah, and I'm the mystic. Then there's Maud. Then there's Mal, right? So the light attribute, releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life, which is a gamble, right? You may very well be distancing yourself or, you know, cutting out people from your life, like releasing what is potentially destructive in your life. That can be people, in order for your own creativity to be given voice in terms of your career. Now they're just saying this. Now remember, a lot of artists in their career, you know, work retail, food service, you name it, right? So the work to survive in order to do their career, it feels like you kind of want to really bust a move here and make your career what you do to make your money. Remember, I'm a corporate president. That's my work. I don't get paid for that. That's all the scheduling and the social media and all that work. I don't get paid for that. I get paid as a teacher, a reader, and a healer, spiritual counselor, right? And my vocation is a mystic, and I've got them all in alignment. All cylinders fire every day for me, but it took, talk about the path less traveled. This Trickster, let us not forget, your 8th chakra. Now, this is your mystical power in play here. The shadow attribute, manipulating others through duplicity. Now, it's one thing if you got to be a little sneaky to keep your bubble away from bubble poppers, right? Like, don't share your dreams with people who you know, even though they may be well-meaning. I mean, at a certain point, you have to know what your dream is and stand up for it, right? So manipulating others through duplicity, I understand having to do that spiritually. till you come out of the whatever closet you find yourself in, the Reiki closet, what have you. But the light attribute transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. So it is kind of like saying, oh yeah? Watch this, right? As you're walking that tightrope blindfolded, you'll nail the dismount. I mean, look, we all have to take leaps of faith in life just to do what we came here to do. Because I have this sort of faint memory of after some life, right, croaking, going to the other side, visiting the Akashic records, and seeing it's like, oh, I didn't go for it. Why didn't I go for it? I'm not even a body. I wasn't even a body, right? I was strutting and fretting my hour on the stage, but I didn't. I fretted more than I strutted, right? So let's get your personal level dynamic, heart, third eye, crown, work, career, vocation. These reads are very holographic. You can bounce around all over the place making connections. Please breathe. As I call upon my goddesses of water and the sign of Cancer, Hestia, Hera, Hecate, please place these cards in my hand, the Virgin, the Queen, and the Crone, for the Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading for their work, career, vocation. They've got the gambler in their work, what's going on for them in the inside world, the yin side world, heart, third eye, crown. In their career, which would certainly highlight, career is heart, third eye, crown. So what is their internal dynamic with that destroyer archetype in play, and in their vocation with that trickster in the 8th chakra, which just feels fun. But Cancers tend to be the mothers of the zodiac, so there might be a lot of people who depend on them, and I understand if they're itty-bitty little kids, but, you know, if they can walk and they're carrying them, I don't think that's going to last for very long. And I don't mean babies, I mean adults, right? So with that trickster archetype in their calling, what's going on here? What's going on? Heart, third eye, crown for them. Let's take a nice big look. Well, shadow work is indicated here. We'll get there. So the gambler on the inner, you've got, well, essentially the Judgment card in traditional tarot. This is called Celebration. It's a bunch of women holding hands, circle dancing out in nature. And that's certainly what it looks like, right? With a full moon in the sky. Celebration. But it's the Judgment card. If you look closer, they're dancing on the belly of the Great Mother. Do you see it? Right, breasts in the foreground, pubic mound in the background, dancing around her navel. So something is being revealed to you inside, and I'm going to say intuitively, but in your creative intuition in terms of your work. You're seeing things differently, and of course you're making a judgment call, but the difference in the artwork on this card, and why I love Daughters of the Moon, it's a holistic celebration. The next card, of course, being the world, the universe, Shakti, the life dancer in this deck. So yeah, you may not be at the end of the cycle, but you get it, right? You get it. It's like, oh, revelation. And that's why, you know, the Judgment Day in traditional tarot takes place in the book of Revelations. Yeah, I could have been a comparative religion scholar, but boring. Particularly when you have the destroyer with the Scorpio card, Hecate, 3 goddesses sit in the throne, share the throne of Cancer. For me, Hestia, Hera, Hecate. So this is fixed water. This would be the Queen of Cups in traditional tarot. You are keeping to yourself, and there is shadow work being dealt with here. There's no way it couldn't be. Major decision that you are making here. So perhaps looking at the fear that binds you, right? Intoxication with destructive power. I have had my moments, I will not lie. But destroying others' dreams or potentials, maybe doing some of that repair work there. Because there is no death without rebirth, no crucifixion without resurrection, no going to ashes without rising from them. That's just the way this world works. So whatever was destroyed here, not only can it be rebuilt, it's being transformed, alchemized into a higher form, releasing what is potentially destructive and preparing for new life. And it feels like you've got the intuition to do this and take the risk as the gambler. Now, this is the one that gives me, I won't say concern. Yeah, this is a lot about speaking your truth In your vocation, you got the Trickster, that manipulation with duplicity here, or transcending that stuffy behavior, being the unconventional in your vocation. With 5 of Blades, the Hurricane, so you're thinking about it for sure. But there's definitely a lot of other people's stuff on your mind. If a breath is a thought, what's a hurricane? The safest place to be in a hurricane is in the eye of the hurricane, the still point at the center. Now you can take that into Alcoholics Anonymous, right? The blue bark, right? Keep it in the eye. Keep it in the eye. It's like I get that. Like Cancerians, people may very well depend on you. And we're not talking about abdication of responsibility here. Oh, hello. A little buzzy thing just buzzed by my head. I'll take that as a sign. I think that might have been a lightning bug, actually. They love me. Ooh, one last night, one flew up in my face while I was praying and meditating, just hovered there, went, hi. And I looked it up. It's about the light within, and that's exactly the work I was doing at the time. Yeah. You gotta cough some of this stuff up, right? Heart, throat, third eye, crown. Try and find that still point within you. The Trickster right now doesn't say that you have to like bust a move. Well, we'll see in the next 3 cards down. But it's certainly saying that all of this thinking may be serving you if you can really get that. A lot of the other people's influences about your spirituality, about your mystical path, about your vocation, that your calling is about them. That it's external stuff. A lot of mental stress and a lot of mental conflict. But if you can be that center point, you're going to find a lot of clarity comes to you as a result in terms of like particularly like transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. You're going to be like, well, then watch this. I think I said that already. What does this look like on the outside? The mythic tarot, root, sacrum, solar plexus dynamic, right? Either you from the outside looking in or you looking at the outside from within, if that makes sense, right? Please breathe. As I call upon my gods of water. And the signs of Cancer. Please, 3 cards in clarity for the Cancerian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. What does this look like from the outside looking in or from the inside looking out for these Cancerians in their work, career, vocation? They've got the Gambler in the 8th with celebration, revelation, the Judgment card on the inner. What does that look like on the outer? In their career, they've got the Destroyer in the 8th with Hecate, the Queen of Cups, definitely keeping to themselves, but hopefully doing the alchemical work here. Hecate particularly being one of my Cancerian goddesses. She really is the crone at the crossroads, right? A big decision going on here that really has a lot of emotional weight and impact for you as a Cancerian, a water sign. So, my gods, what does this look like in lower 3 chakra dynamic? Good. And in their vocation, that Trickster in the 8th with the hurricane, not just the storm, the hurricane. Heart, throat, third eye, crown there. 5 of Blades, a mental cacophony, confusion, conflict. What does that look like on the outer, please? Thank you very much. 2 court cards and a minor arcana. Okay, so good news-ish, depending on where you are on this. The Gambler with Revelation, the Virgo card, Knight of Pentacles. Take your time. Slow and steady wins the race. Yes, you don't run blindfolded across a tightrope, right? You can slow this down, but there is progressive movement here. The Knight of Pentacles, Virgo, is the walk. I'm talking horseback riding here. Cups is trot, Pisces. Wands, Sagittarius is canter, a little bit faster. And Knight of Swords, Gemini, is full on gallop. There are beehives here. With this Knight of Pentacles, and beehives aren't created overnight, right? It takes a while to eat a crocodile, Generation X. But nor is honey made instantly either, right? There is a process here. So you can go slow with this. Slow and steady does win the race. And remember, crabs, Cancerians, crabs don't walk like this. They tack back and forth, right? They'll make their way there. What do you mean? What do you mean I'm moody? I'm not moody. Remember, I was raised by a Cancerian mother. Gonna see her for her birthday coming up very soon. Driving up to Saratoga. Oh, you know me. I'll take the camera phone with me. In your career here, this is pretty key. This is pretty key. The Destroyer with Crown of Cups, Hecate, Scorpio, Queen of Cups with the Knight of Wands, the Aries. This is about you being yourself. You being independent. You might have to pull a little foot stampy here and there in your career to say, no, I'm doing this. No, I'm doing this. Or at least you're appearing very formidable, right? That if you have any Aries placement, then I feel like that's going to come to the fore. Particularly, I would think Aries Moon, right? Because you've got this Scorpio thing on the inside, but you really kind of putting it out there. But you. Certainly the Aries energy, if you look at the god Aries, a destroyer archetype. Not only a destroyer archetype, no one god or goddess is any one archetype. They're like warehouses, archetypal gestalts they're called, right? But certainly that Aries energy to initiate, to start, to make it happen, and to perhaps go solo in doing this and really getting that, okay, I'm making room for my new life, even if I have to burn down this village. I don't recommend burning down the village, literally. But sometimes you might have to just say to people, no, I appreciate what you're saying and your concern, but at the end of the day, it's my head that has to hit the pillow, right? And I think perhaps there has been a little sleepless nights here with the Trickster and all this hurricane going on inside, particularly hitting your third eye. With the Seven of Cups, you know, it's like really looking, well, I could do this, and I could do this, and I could do this, and I could do this. This is Aphrodite giving her, well, already daughter-in-law, but still mortal, like I said, daughter-in-law-ish, Psyche, her married to her son Eros, god of love, saying, well, yeah, well, if you do this, and this, and this, and this, and this, then I'll approve the marriage as goddess of love. It's a long myth, but it's a good one, right? So she's like, oh, please, please, I love him. He loves me. And she's like, well, I need you to do 3 tasks, including a little drive-by to the underworld to pick up some beauty cream. Hey, if I could get someone to do it for me, I probably would too. I mean, this is a very, very interesting thing here. I'm going to say the most important part of this for you is definitely in your vocation. We still got 3 cards to hit the table here to confirm that, I feel. Look at me, covering up my solar plexus. I suggest you do the same, right? You really keep your honor and your integrity to yourself on this stuff while you feel this out, because you know what to do in terms of your work. Absolutely, and I don't feel like you really want to be compromising anymore in your honor and your integrity and your spiritual path in terms of what you do for a living. But it is slow and steady wins the race. You know, that Virgo card there. This makes a lot of sense, actually. So let's get your last 3 cards down, the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. And, you know, I love this deck. I say it pretty much every time. His work has been incredibly helpful for me and my clients. I will say, if you work these mantras, work, career, vocation, I'll show you. You can put them together, all 3 of them, into one paragraph. Both the names of the mantras as well as the mantras themselves can be very powerful and, of course, healing. Please take a nice deep breath. My Ascended Masters of life purpose through the lenses of work, career, and vocation, please, what are the 3 perfect healing mantras for the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs? Watching this video, receiving this reading, there is something getting caught in my throat. And it hasn't been doing that all day. I don't think I coughed once during the Gemini read I did about an hour or so ago. So yeah, something stuck in your craw here with somebody, and it could be family member, could be lover, could be, you know, whatever. Could be just, like I said, tribal And just like saying, no, I don't want to repress this anymore. I want to speak up and say what I got to say and be who I have to be here, particularly with that King of Wands in terms of your career. Kind of ballseth to the wallseth. So please, Ascended Masters, for the Cancerian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, what is their perfect healing mantra for their work? Gambler in the 8th, Celebration, Revelation, the Judgment card on the inner, Knight of Pentacles, Virgo on the outer. There's that. Their mantra for their career, Destroyer in the 8th, Crone of Cups, Queen of Cups, Scorpio, Fixed Water, the goddess Hecate, Crone of the Crossroads, with that Aries energy, Cardinal, Creative, Fire on the outer in their career. Like, this could definitely be an artist in some way, shape, or form with that Ace of, with that King of Wands there, but that artist can mean all sorts of different things. Healing art, particularly with Scorpio, definitely. There's some shadow work going on there to repair and revive what has been destroyed. Scorpio energy just not being about death, but rebirth. Perhaps the rebirth of their dream that was once destroyed by someone, maybe themselves. And in their vocation, that Trickster archetype in the 8th, the Hurricane, 5 of Blades on the inner, and 7 of Cups. It is cloudy. It is emotional. It is, they've got options. They're not sure which one to take to bring this all into alignment. So please, what's their perfect healing mantra for their vocation, July, August 2021. So, Gambler, Judgment, Knight of Pentacles, hearing inner guidance. My intuition flows whenever I am still. So you can be pretty still on a horse that's in walk, right? And think about listening, right? It's hearing inner guidance. Like, did you just hear that? I was a kitty cat shaking his head. Hey, Melky, right? But I was just going to say, like, if I hear my cats, I hear upstairs, like everything. Right? Listening brings you instantly into stillness to hear the silence behind all noise. Well, very, very Eckhart Tolle power of now. So, you know, that intuitive thing there is really saying with that Gambler archetype, the answers are within you, the revelation's within you. We all know that, blah, blah, blah. Point of power is always in the present moment. But with that 9 of Pentacles on the outer, you can take your time with this. But, you know, hearing inner guidance, your intuition flows whenever you are still. In your career, as we said, you got the Destroyer archetype with Scorpio energy, which is destruction, but for then creation with the King of Wands on the outer, that initiation with allowing appreciation. The value of my life increases every time I appreciate everything in it. And I say this every time because it does come up. Rampage of appreciation. Abraham Hicks, right? It's a brilliant exercise. They call it a game. For me, it's an exercise to just start really appreciating anything. Like, start anywhere. It's holographic, right? You can start with, like, well, I like coffee. I like tea. I like the boys. And the boys like me. Ooh, my energy just lifted a little bit there. This is definitely a vibrational raiser. Not like razor, let's do it like shaving, but it's going to raise your vibration there and really get your creative energy going and get that I don't want to say impulsive, but I want to say initiatory Aries energy there. Just start appreciating. Now, I know when you're flying at a low altitude, it's hard to do, so don't shoot for great, big, huge, right? It's like, you know what? I like my bathroom. I do like my bathroom, right? I like walking out in nature, walking children in nature, Tammy Brown, right? Start there and allow it to rampage. Really, tons of videos. I'm sure Abraham Hicks, Rampage of Appreciation, originally written down in the book, Ask and It Is Given, Abraham Hicks. Oh, and Jerry was still with us. I mean, he's still with us, but not in physical form. Blessed be. The Trickster in the 8th, Hurricane on the inner, 7 of Cups on the outer. Yeah, you've been dealing with tribal neglect or neglect from somebody, untangling neglect. I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. If you're waiting for other people to approve you doing something that scares them, don't hold your breath. Don't. Everyone in my family that I can think of has their own business. But I totally went in a different direction by becoming a professional witch. I mean, I went to performing arts college, Boston Conservatory of Music, Dance, and Theatre, darling. That they thought was risky, because it is. Well, I went riskier, right? The road less traveled, the path less traveled, for sure. So it would make sense with this Seven of Cups on the outer. It's like, well, but this one and that one, and they say, and the market, and the stock, and untangling neglect. Take the time. I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. And if you want an exercise for that, Louise Hay, 101, You Can Heal Your Life. Whole chapter on approval. That's what needs to be coughed up. You have to release. The desire is lovely for approval from others, but the need is unnecessary. The exercise she gives is just say, I approve of myself 1,000 times a day or whatever. Now, once I started doing that, I could not hear when the saints go marching in. Well, I approve of myself. I approve of myself. Sing it with me. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. Right? And it just steamrolls. So really, even the allowing of appreciation, you know what? I appreciate my art form, whatever that is. I appreciate that I'm in this growing phase. And yes, if you are doing shadow work, if you are healing the wounds that others gave you by giving yourself the love and approval that only you can give yourself, that's huge. That's worth this. Yeah. Now, before I put this all together, hearing inner guidance, allowing in the titles, hearing inner guidance, allowing appreciation, and untangling neglect. Sounds like a pretty good set there. My intuition flows whenever I am still. The value of my life increases each time I appreciate everything in it, and I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. Do you feel the through line there? This is about you becoming a powerhouse. And with that Seven of Cups on the outer, I get it. It's like things might be cloudy. You might have dreams. You have dreams. You want fame. Well, fame costs, and here's where you start paying with shadow work. Yeah. So now let me put it together for you. Oh, I forgot my chords. They're never far away. You know, Wonder Woman. Diana has her Hestian lasso of truth. I have my chords of love, wisdom, and power. Please take a nice deep breath. My collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life purpose through work, career, vocation, and the higher selves of all involved, please. May the Cancerian collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, vocation. So in their work, they really embrace the willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt them, because there is deep revelation and a judgment call within them that only they can make, but they can make it slow and steady, walking rather than running, because they're hearing inner guidance, their intuition flowing whenever they are still. So in their career, they can release what is potentially destructive and prepare for this new life, indicated here by doing the shadow work, by standing at the crossroads, by really going deep into their emotions that this external situation may not be directly connected to, but may be triggering the exact alchemy needed for them to move into this new phase of their life. Because with the ace, I keep saying that, the King of Wands here, the Aries card, they have the initiative. They are able to initiate this, and perhaps taking that torch and destroying what is potentially destructive in their life, while they allow appreciation, the value of their life increasing every time they appreciate everything in it. So in their calling, they can transcend convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior, standing at the center of the hurricane with all these thoughts circling around them, understanding that it's the psychic free radicals, the mental beliefs breaking up within them, and the people around them challenging them as they need to be challenged, because things are cloudy. They have options, but are some of those options healthy and some of them not? Absolutely. And that's why, regardless of what anyone else says, that they are able to untangle neglect, that they take the time to give themselves all the approval that they desire so that they may heal, grow, become the best that they can be, fulfill their role in the divine plan and their life purpose, their work, career, vocation, for their well-being, to be an example to those who might be naysaying for them, and certainly for the well-being of all. So motivate. And so it is. Yeah, there you go. I mean, tricky, but worth it, right? I mean, particularly if you're like a spiritual healer or something like that, they're like, what? You're doing what? You can't do that. Yeah, watch me. Yeah, watch me. It's just doing that without, burning down the village. Tricky. So you want to go deeper? Buzz me, right? Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can try emailing me at drawingthecircle@gmail.com. Just give me a couple of days because the amount of spam I get is nuts. Just finding out who is the actual client instead of people wanting to sell me who's what's this that I don't want anyway. Tricky. And my book, Words of Grace, may very well be helpful because I wrote that book when my entire career was destroyed and risen from the ashes. Here I am, YouTuber. Who would have thunk it? And I'm so excited. I am doing my first house call in years this week. Gonna be lovely. They live like 5 minutes away, so that's lovely, but I don't need people in my house right now. I'm not that ready to leave hermit phase. So really wishing you, right, you hermit crabs, you know exactly what I mean. So certainly wishing you the very best and the very best in your work, career, and vocation, my beloved Cancerians, my crab cakes. Hail, farewell, and blessed be.